Hi, I'm Kat Kalashian for Live and Invest Overseas, and today we're talking Portuguese beaches and a little bit about how to escape the crowds and find the beaches that only the locals know about, or at least the people who've been living there for some time. So, Portugal is known for its spectacular coastline. It's one of the top draws for people all around the world looking to retire or vacation in Portugal. It's often one of my most frequently vacationed countries living here in France. The problem, the tourists. There are tourists everywhere. Of course, it's impossible to get away from tourists, but so many people flock to the southern Algarve region, and these beaches can be a little bit overcrowded, especially during the summer. So there are some workarounds for this. Luckily, when you live here, you get to know the lesser known spots and the places where only the locals know. And so here are some of the top beaches to enjoy if you're looking to avoid the crowds and beach like a local in Portugal. So first, I'll just mention nude beach culture in case it's of interest to you. Naturism in Portugal is legally permitted in designated areas, and it's not super mainstream, but it does have a growing and respectful, mindful community. The country does actually have 9 officially recognized naturist beaches and many more where naturism is tolerated, usually at a far end of a beach that is already well established, where they have long stretches of sand and can kind of be divisioned off a little bit. So designated nude beaches offer a safe and legal place to enjoy the sun and sea without your clothing. And the official naturist beaches include Praia do Meco near Sesimbra, Praia do Barreta in the Algarve, Praia da Adegas, and Odecheche. I'm not sure that I'm pronouncing that last one right. And these are typically, as I said, more secluded, and they promote values of body acceptance, freedom, and harmony with nature. And though public nudity outside of these areas is not technically legally allowed, tolerance is pretty high in remote or less crowded coastal spots, especially when practiced discreetly. And throughout Europe, of course, you'll notice that women go topless a lot more, even on regular beaches, family beaches. It's just part of the culture here, especially in Spain and in France, where you'll see it pretty frequently. I see it less in Portugal than I do in Italy, France, or Spain. So if it does make you uncomfortable, it's easy to avoid. If you would like to dip a toe into those waters, get your buns out and get some color on those strap lines, then there are definitely some places to do that. So let's move on to the Algarve's lesser known shores. As I said, the Algarve is the place that can get more crowded, a little bit over touristed sometimes. It is the southernmost region, and it's famous for its stunning coastline, these gorgeous jagged cliffs, these limestone rock formations that punctuate the water in the coastline. And it is also where the waters are the warmest. So although Portugal is an entirely Atlantic surrounded country, there's slightly warmer waters on the southern side as opposed to on the open Atlantic on the western side or on the northern half of the country. So as I mentioned, these dramatic limestone cliffs, the sea caves, these turquoise waters really make this one of Europe's main beach destinations. But there are still a few beaches here that are less known by foreigners. One of them is Praia do Amado, which is situated on the western coast of the Algarve. So the little bit of Algarve, you could see it almost as like a little rectangle at the bottom of the country. And on this southern side is the warmer Atlantic waters. And on this little corner, this little western corner over here, it is on that open Atlantic side, as I mentioned. And that means that it gets a little bit less notice. It gets a little bit less recognition because it is a little bit colder. And so most of the focus goes to that southern coastline. So this little western side, it is just this little corner of the southern coast, is kind of the last bastion of Algarve and Algarve beaches. So as I say, it's situated on this western corner of the Algarve, and it's a favorite among surfers. It's exposed to these great Atlantic swells. It offers consistent waves. It is a venue to host international surf competitions throughout the year. And unlike some of the southern beaches, it retains and remains a wild, undeveloped place with lots of that kind of coastal wild charm. So here the cliffs are a little bit reddish. You'll find expansive sandy areas and rolling dunes that are ideal for long walks and wave watching. Another one on the southern coast that's a little less known, a little less visited, is the Praia da Ilha de Tavira. Tavira is a well-known town on the Algarve coast, and it's one of our favorites. And off of it, though, just offshore, is the island of Tavira. So it's not Tavira on the mainland, it's an island of Tavira. It's a little barrier island that's accessible by ferry or water taxi. And unlike the cliff-backed beaches to the west, this stretch of coastline is flat. It's backed by dunes. The waters here are warmer and calmer, ideal for swimming, great for kids and families. The beach is very long and wide, and so even in the summer, it's not difficult to find a spot. And because it is that little extra step, getting a ferry or a water taxi there, it sees far fewer tourists than the main Tavira beaches would. Let's move up to Alentejo's Undercover coast. So the Alentejo coast, which runs from the Algarve to the Setúbal region, which is just south of Lisbon, it's a bit less crowded and more rugged than its southern neighbors. It's a place where the cliffs meet the untamed beaches and the pace of life slows down for sure. The Praia da Zambuera do Mar. This is a small beach town that becomes livelier in August during the MEO Sudoeste Music Festival, but the beach itself is worth visiting year-round and really doesn't see many visitors outside of that time of year. It is sheltered by cliffs and it's close to the village center. Praia da Zambuera offers dramatic scenery and good surf, and despite its popularity, it is still full of its very low-key rustic charm. Praia do Samoquera, just north of Portugal, the Praia da Samoquera is a lesser-known gem. It's small, rocky, it's got natural pools at low tide. It's perfect for those seeking a very intimate connection with nature, and also great for children that love to splash around in the little pools and find some little creatures living in there. The surrounding cliffs and rock formations add to this little sense of seclusion in this area. The Praia do Malau is a wide beach located in the Sudoeste Alentejano, a Costa Vicentina National Park, and it's pretty undeveloped. So there are no permanent structures on the beach itself. It's got a raw, very untouched feel. The waves here are strong, which makes it popular among surfers, and the long stretch of beach and long, wide, sandy stretch is ideal for those seeking some solitude on the beach. For more insights like this, I really recommend you take a look at my book, Living in Portugal. It's full of 173 tips like these that I've shared here today for finding the real insider's Portugal. All right, we're moving north again to Lisbon's lesser known locations. Even in the area surrounding the capital, you'll be shocked at how many beaches there are, and excellent beaches at that. Whether you're looking for windsurfing, sunbathing, dramatic scenery, photo opportunities, you really don't have to travel far from the capital city. So for example, Praia do Guincho is located just north of Cascais, which is famous for its strong winds and its large waves, making it ideal for kite surfing and other kind of wind sports if you're into that. It's got an expansive sandy area framed by dunes, and it is overlooked by the Sintra Mountains, which gives it a wild and remote feel despite being less than an hour from Lisbon. Sunset here is nothing short of cinematic. Praia da Adraga is tucked between the cliffs of the Sintra Cascais National Park, and the Praia da Adraga feels hidden yet theatrical. The winding road to reach it builds some anticipation as you're finding it, adds to this sense of discovery. If you love photography, you'll be glad to know that this beach is a favorite spot for those looking for those picture-perfect sunsets and gorgeous rock formations. Look out for the elephant on the left side. Adraga also has a well-known small but good restaurant serving fresh fish and seafood here. So a nice little respite from the wild. And then in central Portugal, there are plenty of charming spots as well. Stretching between Lisbon and Porto, this is the Silver Coast, the Costa de Prata in Portuguese. And it's known for surf spots, lagoons, and picturesque seaside towns. It does see fewer tourists than the Algarve, but offers equally captivating experiences. So let's look at the Foz do Arelho, which is located near the Caldas de Reina, and it's where the Óbidos Lagoon meets the Atlantic. So it's a bit of a mouth feeding into the Atlantic, and the dual sides of the nature that exists here between the river and the ocean, the lagoon and the ocean, creates two very different beach experiences. So you've got the lagoon side with its calm, shallow waters, perfect for children, stand-up paddleboarding, and just a little bit of very low-key paddling, while the oceanfront waves are great for surfing and body surfing. Up in In the north, where the waters are, let's face it, they are a little bit cooler up here. There are some wonderful beaches to enjoy as well. So they may have the cooler waters, but they make up for it with unique settings and rich cultural backdrops and fewer crowds. So the Praia de Miramar, south of Porto, this beach is best known for its 18th century Senhor de Preda chapel, which is perched on a rock outcrop by the sea. And the contrast between the small white church and the surrounding elements of the sand and the sea, it really creates this almost surreal image. It's really gorgeous. The beach itself is spacious, and the sunsets here are especially memorable as well. The Praia de Moledo is close to the Spanish border, actually, and it's popular with windsurfers and kiteboarders due to its brisk Atlantic winds. And the beach has a distinctive charm with views of the nearby fortress and the forested hills of the Minho region in the background. Praia de Apulia, what makes this one truly unique are the historic windmills that still stand among the dunes here. So this beach combines natural beauty with a sense of cultural heritage and a little bit of a throwback in time. It's very popular with families, but it also attracts photographers, of course, and history buffs. Apulia is one of the most beloved spots along the Portuguese coastal route of the Camino de Santiago, which I'll talk about on another day. All right, and so that does it for our seawater escapes. However, there is a whole other side to beaches in Portugal, which is its freshwater escapes. So river beaches, or praias fluviais, I think I'm pronouncing that right, offer a different kind of beach experience. These are set against forests, hills, historic villages, and these are inland spots with calm waters, very clean, and less tourists for sure. These are not the beaches tourists ever come to. So let's look at Praia Fluvial de Loriga, which is tucked in Portugal's highest mountain range, and this river beach is set in a glacial valley surrounded by granite peaks, and it's perfect for nature lovers and hikers looking to cool off in a little crystal clear pool. Is it icy cold and uninviting or fresh and invigorating? You decide. The Praia Fluvial de Fraga da Pegada is located in the Azibo Reservoir protected landscape, and this beach offers, again, very clean, safe swimming in an artificial lake that's created by a dam. Sandy banks, clear water, and facilities like showers and picnic areas make it family friendly. Canoeing and paddleboarding are also popular here. The Praia Fluvial do Reconquino is near Coimbra, which is where the famous university is. And this river beach on the Mondego River is shaded, peaceful, and often overlooked. So it's surrounded by eucalyptus and pine trees. There's a great scent in the air here, and it's a great place for picnics and swimming. Praia Fluvial do Alamal is on the banks of the Tagus River, and Alamal Beach stands out thanks to its picturesque wooden walkway that hugs the riverbank and leads to the Belver Castle. It combines historical charm and natural beauty. This sandy stretch is very well equipped, lots of amenities, and ideal for families. Finally, we have Praia Fluvial de Monsaraz, which is created by the Algarve Dam. This beach is also near the medieval village of Monsaraz, and it offers expansive views and calm waters suitable for several kinds of water sports. And as one of the newer river beaches, it has great infrastructure and easy access. So there you have it, some ways to beat the crowds and experience some of the best beaches in the country. And for more insights like this, I really recommend you take a look at my book, Living in Portugal. It's full of 173 tips like these that I've shared here today for finding the real insider's Portugal. Happy trails.